Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Happy New Year. So we got our first look at Elektra and Punisher, like our first official look at them from Daredevil Season 2. So let's do a breakdown. We've already gotten the teaser for Season 2, like the first teaser. We'll probably get a full trailer pretty soon too. It's supposed to debut in March, according to Entertainment Weekly. They're like a little bit more credible than a regular blog, but not quite as credible as a trade publication, so take that with a grain of salt. They dropped Daredevil Season 1 right before Avengers Age of Ultron came out in May, so they might just push it up a little bit just to give people a little bit more time to digest it before Captain America Civil War starts. But in case you haven't read the comics, just a little bit of background. Elektra is a character of Greek descent who is part of the Hand organization. The Hand is like the evil side of the Chased coin. Now, Stick is part of the Chased. We got that brief scene during Daredevil Season 1 kind of teasing that organization. The Hand is just the other side of that. We only really got a teaser for them too, so I don't know if Elektra is going to be part of the Hand in Daredevil Season 2 or what her entry into the story is going to be. But the way they're describing her in the TV series is that she's going to be like Matt's id, the best bad girlfriend a guy could have. If you don't know what the id is, there's the id, the ego, the superego. They're just Freudian concepts. The id is like your unbridled instinct. The superego is like the critical moral side of your brain. So that's almost like the night nurse character, just because she's kind of a moral compass for Matt. And then the ego is like the organized, realistic part, which is kind of like the Karen Page character. So I kind of like how the women in Matt's life are his id, ego, and superego. So Elektra is just going to be the fun side of that coin. And at various points in the comics, they've been in relationship, they've been at each other's throats. So she kind of starts out as a villain when Frank Miller first brings her into the comics, but then they become allies. So I'm guessing they're just going to have a little bit of fun with that in the TV series. She's kind of like a halfway step to the danger zone, just, like getting a little bit crazier, having a little bit more fun. The Punisher is like all the way to the danger zone. So a big part of the series is going to be Daredevil's moral dilemma in like how far does he go? Like what kind of methods does he use to clean up his neighborhood? He and the Punisher are doing almost the exact same thing. It's just Punisher's killing every criminal he can get his hands on. So it kind of brings it full circle back to that Kingpin moment, during the middle of Season 1 where he was like, you and I are very similar. Only I do things on a scale that matters. So you clearly see the Punisher here gearing up and then kind of like butting heads with Daredevil. Like he has him chained up here on a rooftop, but clearly something is going to have to bring them together to like catalyze their relationship, some bigger threat. So I'm wondering if Elektra has something to do with that. Because as it stands right now, they're kind of selling Punisher as the crazy version of Daredevil, and Elektra is kind of like the siren singing this sweet song of danger in his ear, just like, oh man, this could be so much more fun. I should just embrace my dark side. But they haven't really spent a whole lot of time talking about what the Kingpin is doing during this series. Like, is he still stuck in jail? Is he calling the shots? That's usually what happens is it's like, even though he gets locked up in the comics, he's still just as powerful as he was on the outside. So I'm wondering if he has something to do with throwing Elektra into Daredevil's path, but we'll see. There have been like various associations between Marvel's criminal organizations. Like the Kingpin has been associated with the Hand, but I don't know if the TV series is going to go with a very comic book version of Elektra. They took a lot of visual cues from Man Without Fear during Season 1, but they didn't do Man Without Fear as a storyline. Elektra was actually a big part of that, so it's a good story to read if you want a good Elektra story. But if you do want to learn about Elektra's origin story, how she became the Elektra character, she does have her own self-titled miniseries. You might be able to find it on Marvel Unlimited, but you might have to buy it on Comixology. But let me know what you're most hype about for Season 2, and what do you think is going to happen to bring the Punisher and Daredevil together? Or do you think that's not going to happen at all? Do you think they'll end things like Captain America and Iron Man during Civil War? Like they'll just draw a line in the sand and be like, we're never going to agree on this, so let's just go our own separate ways and do our own thing. I feel like Daredevil wouldn't be able to walk away from that. Like he would know that the Punisher is killing people and have to stop him. So something has got to happen with the Punisher's arc because he has got zero chill. And the really awesome thing, if you guys didn't know this, apparently John Bernthal's performance as the Punisher has been so amazing that Netflix and Marvel want to greenlight a Punisher series. I don't know if it's going to end up happening. They might wait till after Season 2 premieres to talk more about what's going on with that, just because they want to promote Daredevil before they promote a Punisher series. But I think that would be awesome. Punisher would be perfect for Netflix. Just super graphic, super hardcore. I know a lot of you are still asking about like what's going on with the Netflix characters in Civil War. There's already way too many characters in Civil War right now, so I don't think they'll be able to accommodate anything that's going on in the Netflix series. They might reference it briefly, but in terms of crossover, the closest we'll probably get is some Jessica Jones crossover. Like, we got a little bit of Daredevil crossover at the end of Jessica Jones. Just spoiler alert for Jessica Jones if you haven't watched it yet. There's a Night Nurse crossover, but there's no Daredevil crossover, like no official Daredevil crossover. So I'm guessing it's going to be the same deal with Jessica Jones crossing over with Daredevil Season 2. And Luke Cage too. Now, Luke Cage Season 1 will premiere later this year, so I think it's more likely that we get some more references to Luke Cage, but hopefully we'll see some Jessica Jones in there too. Just as a point of reference though, like I know, there's always the question about like where things are happening in New York. Daredevil is Hell's Kitchen, Jessica Jones is also Hell's Kitchen, Luke Cage is supposed to take place a little further north in Harlem, so it's actually pretty likely that Jessica Jones would run into Daredevil at some point if she's around at night all the time. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. I'll be doing more Daredevil videos as we get closer to the Season 2 premiere, and also there is a Captain America 75th anniversary special on the 19th of this month. It's the same day that The Flash comes back. DC's doing this huge Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman special. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening on the 19th, so I'll be doing videos for all that stuff. It's gonna be awesome. While you guys wait for everything to post, you can click here for my Daredevil Season 2 playlist. I've done a whole bunch of Netflix videos. And you can click here for the Legends of Tomorrow Boba Fett trailer that I just posted. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. Happy New Year. I will see you guys in 2016.